All right, guys. So the nominations for the Game Awards finally came in, and I wanted to go onto the actual the Game Awards website, but I believe the traffic is too much at the moment. Um, I couldn't get the website to load. It gave me a 505 error. So oh well. We're going to be looking at a an article from the Hollywood Reporter. So I guess let's just go by category and name off some of the nominees for all these categories. A lot of them are esports um, categories, so I don't think I really want to go over those too much. I have just about zero interest in esports at this point. I don't really know who any of the people are at all, so I won't be able to give any kind of input on those categories. But let's go ahead and let's start with best game direction. I'm gonna go and save the game awards or the game of the year nominations or nominees for last, because I think that a lot of them are kind of amazing and maybe shouldn't be there, but I guess that's really a matter of opinion. But let's go ahead and go down. So for best game direction, we have Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, and The Outer Wilds. Not The Outer Worlds, The Outer Wilds. Um, I haven't seen too much of Control, but from what I understand, the game was fine. I understand that the game was okay. A lot of people had fun with it. A lot of people, it wasn't a lot of people's thing sometimes, but as far as I know, it was fun. It was okay, but it wasn't anything crazy or anything. Death Stranding, I think if you've been paying attention to the internet at all, you'll understand that Death Stranding is a polarizing game to say the least. And maybe it does deserve best game direction. I have not completed the game yet. I've only played for about 3 hours or so, but the story is incredibly interesting. So maybe it does deserve it. I'm not entirely sure. Resident Evil 2 is a fantastic game. Now it is a remake, but maybe I'm not really entirely sure of which camp I fall in as to whether remakes should actually be considered for like game of the year or like all of these nominations or all of these categories, rather than just have like a separate category for remakes specifically. But the game did come out this year, so whatever, it's fine. I think everybody that played the game loved the game. I know I played what I played of Resident Evil 2. I loved it. I haven't completed that game either, but I do plan on going back and doing that because it was an excellent game. It is a wonderful step up from Resident Evil 2 from the original PS1, I believe, PS1, and yeah, I think it's deserving of a lot of the nominations that it got. I think it got a couple nominations. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, From Software games get a pretty good reputation nowadays. That people like From Software has gained a lot of fans over the years, and I didn't play Sekiro because I am absolutely horrible at From Software's games, but I did watch a very, very good amount of Sekiro from a couple streamers on Twitch. So I understand that people that enjoy From Software's games and maybe wanted something a little bit more actiony, coming off of Dark Souls or Bloodborne, they could very much enjoy Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice. Excuse me. So sure, best game direction, maybe. I'm not sure. And The Outer Wilds, I don't know really anything about The Outer Wilds. I played The Outer Worlds. You can check out that video, but Outer Wilds, I'm not entirely sure. So now we move on to best narrative, and of course, absolutely, Death Stranding is going to be on there. We all knew this. We're going to see a lot of Death Stranding nominations. So yeah, we have A Plague Tale, Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and The Outer Worlds for best narrative. Maybe I would agree with that. I would say that maybe not I don't know about the best narrative, but 2019 hasn't been like an incredibly strong year for games. like say 2017 was, for example. So the one game that I can think of that would probably be deserving of maybe the best narrative would be Death Stranding. That's one of the ones that I'd probably give to Death Stranding because of it's basically an interactive movie. It's a couple steps up from an interactive movie. It's not like Telltale Games. Um, um, excuse me. Quality, or maybe not quality. Design as a movie game type thing. So let's move on to best art direction, and of course we have Death Stranding and Control. We also have Grease, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So I haven't seen too much of Control or Grease, and I've never even heard of Sayonara Wild Hearts. But Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a very, very pretty looking game. Death Stranding is one of the games that I would say probably looks... it's one of the best looking games of the generation, I would say. They did a lot of really, really good work with the mocap and the models for all the actors that played real parts. But I think my favorite art direction would probably be The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. You can check out my whole playthrough that I did on the channel, or on Twitch at least. But I thought that was a very, very unique style of art. A lot of these games, they have a lot of realism, and they go for the realistic style, whereas we don't see a whole lot of creative art styles outside of, say, indie games at a lot of points. But The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a first-party Nintendo game, and that's why that's a part of the reason why I love Nintendo, is that they're not afraid to go out and make highly stylized games. Like, I know Link's Awakening didn't perform the best on the Switch, but it did look wholly unique from anything that came out this year. So I would give this award to Link's Awakening if I were a judge. I am not, but you know. So now we go on to best score music. We have Cadence of Hyrule. This game was I was a little let down by the game. The music of it is phenomenal though. Death Stranding, again, I haven't played too much of that game, but I know that there are music. There's songs in the game, so you know. I didn't play any of Devil May Cry. Kingdom Hearts 3 has a really good soundtrack because it's inspired by Disney movies, and of course Disney movies always have wonderful soundtracks. And Sayonara Wild Hearts, again, I don't know anything about this game. I apologize for not knowing anything about this game, but I don't. I'm sorry. I would probably give this one to Cadence of Hyrule. It takes a lot of classic Zelda music and gives it a very, very upbeat remix. And I think everybody walked out of Cadence of Hyrule, whether they liked the game or not, and said, that soundtrack was great. And I think everybody can agree about that. So, like, I really, I don't know about Death Stranding on this one. But let's move on to best audio design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I need to play the campaign for that game. I will have a review for the campaign of Modern Warfare out on the channel. Control again, Death Stranding again, Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I don't really know about audio design. I would say that Resident Evil 2 had very, very, very good audio design because it made the police station creepy. The whole game was pretty creepy, and that's exactly what I was going for. I'm not entirely sure about Death Stranding because, as far as I know, there's just a couple songs in the soundtrack that play at random points, but again, I'm not too far into that game yet. But you know, I guess we'll see who goes. So this is best performance. So these are the voice actors for video games. Excuse me. So we have Ashley Birch as Parvati Holcomb in The Outer Worlds. Yeah, she did a good job from what I've played of The Outer Worlds. I'm not finished with it yet, but she has done a very good job. I'm sure. Courtney Hopies as Jesse Faden in Control. I haven't played any of Control. Laura Bailey as Kate Diaz in Gears 5. I haven't played any of Gears 5. Death Stranding amazingly has 2 nominations for this category. So we have Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff for Death Stranding, and let's do the next Death Stranding. We have Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges. Now, I don't think that anybody would say at all, realistically, that that Norman Reedus should win the best performance. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I haven't played the whole game again, so like I'm not the hugest fan of Norman Reedus. But the one thing I would say about Death Stranding is that the dialogue is not the best or most believable. It's a little corny at times, but whatever. And we also have Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. So Control also has 2 nominations here. I don't know about Control. So games for impact, I'm amazed. I am amazed that Death Stranding didn't get a nomination for this category here. So we have Concrete Genie. I didn't play Concrete Genie, but I saw a little bit of it, and I remember seeing the preview of it when it was announced, and I thought it was really, really cool looking. But apparently it's really good. So maybe, I don't know. Grease, I haven't played any of Grease, but I've seen very little of it. Kind Words, I've never heard of. Life is Strange 2, I've played about an episode and a half of Life is Strange 2. My girlfriend and I actually played the first 2 Life is Strange games together, so I would assume that we would go back and play Life is Strange 2, but the first one did impact us. It was a very, very good story. The second one, Before the Storm, not so much. I didn't like that one as much as I liked the first one, but I could very well see that Don't Nod with Life is Strange 2 would be a very, very good choice for games for impact. And then we have Sea of Solitude, and I'm sorry, I've never heard of that game either. Best ongoing game, so the live service games, we have our Fortnite, and we have Apex Legends. Destiny 2 is interesting. Final Fantasy 15 is an interesting choice, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I guess that game is still popular. I have no idea. I guess I would pick Fortnite for this. Its popularity is undeniable, especially when we saw the whole black hole thing a couple months ago. That was insane. So best indie game, I'm out of the loop on a lot of these games. I don't really know what Baba Is You is. I've never heard of Disco Elysium. I've never heard of Katana Zero. I have heard of Katana Zero. I haven't played it though. Now the Outer Wilds. People get confused with the Outer Worlds. I don't know what it's about, but it's gotten quite a few nominations, and of course Untitled Goose Game. I have purchased that game. I haven't beaten it, but it's fun. It's fun in and of itself. Purely based on the fact that I haven't played any of the other games, I would give it to Untitled Goose Game. But I guess we'll talk about mobile games. We have Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, never heard of it. Sayonara Wild Hearts, I guess. Okay, Sayonara Wild Hearts is a mobile game. I've never heard of that. Sky, Children of Light, and What the Golf. You got me. I don't know. Best community support. I don't know why this is a category, but I guess these guys are pretty much unsung heroes when it comes to the gaming community. They fight all of our battles for us, and they get all of our issues fixed. So they're exactly the same nominees as the best ongoing games. So I have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege. I don't play any of these games, so I can't really give an input on how the community support is. I have no idea. Best VR/AR game. So this is interesting. So we have Asgard's Wrath. I haven't heard of that before. Blood and Truth, never heard of it. Beat Saber was an interesting one that came out earlier this year. People like that, I believe. No Man's Sky, I haven't heard anything really about the VR parts of No Man's Sky. And Trover Saves the Universe. So take your pick on that one. Not sure. VR still hasn't really caught on super well, I would say. PSVR is the top selling VR experience, but even then it's sold so much less than the actual PS4 has. So Best action game, we have Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, and Metro Exodus. So I've really been slacking on playing games this year, but you know, money. Call of Duty is probably going to take this because they always do. They always take you know, the action game. That, you know, it's the top selling shooter, whatever. It always is. But I think a lot of people would vote for Astral Chain. It's a brand new IP from Platinum Games. It's one of the, I believe it's one of the best looking games on the Switch. It's a good buffer for people that are waiting for Bayonetta. It's a unique idea. So I think a lot of people will be voting for Astral Chain because it hasn't really gotten very much press after it came out. I haven't bought it yet, but I do plan on playing it around Christmas time. I think that's one that's definitely on my radar. But I don't know about really giving an actual nomination for this one here. So best action adventure game, we have Borderlands 3, we have Control again, we have Death Stranding again, Resident Evil 2 again, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening again, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice again. I really hope I don't know if people vote best action adventure game on Death Stranding when Death Stranding doesn't really, as far as I know, have a whole lot of action in it. I'll be severely disappointed. I would be totally fine if Resident Evil 2 or Link's Awakening or Sekiro should probably win this category. Either that or Borderlands 3, two newer games that came out this year. I'll be happy with those. You know, whatever. Really, just as long as Death Stranding doesn't go and sweep the floor with all the nominations and win everything, then I guess that's fine. But like, I don't even know how seriously you can take these award shows anymore, or at least this one. People, I thought, expected Geoff Keighley to be pretty biased when it came to Death Stranding because he's like, I don't know, boyfriend with Hideo Kojima, and he's in Death Stranding. So I don't know. I just hope that he doesn't win, or not he. I hope that Death Stranding doesn't win everything and just make the award show just not fun for anybody else. For best RPG, we have Disco Elysium. I've never played it. Final Fantasy 14. It's interesting that these games that have been around for many years, like Final Fantasy 14, can be nominated for Game of the Year, or not Game of the Year, but get nominations in the Game Awards when they haven't really come out this year. We also have Kingdom Hearts 3, Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. That's an expansion to Monster Hunter World, and The Outer Worlds from Obsidian. Now, I haven't played Final Fantasy 14, but I hear people love it. I'm a big World of Warcraft fan, so maybe in the future I'll actually try it. But I haven't indulged myself in too much into the Final Fantasy universe. I plan on it, but I haven't yet. We also have Kingdom Hearts 3. I have played a bunch of Kingdom Hearts 3. I haven't beat it yet. Time got away from me. But I've been enjoying Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a little bit of a button masher, but, you know, that's what Kingdom Hearts games really they are in their combat at its heart. Is just, you know, you hit the X button. But that's fine. I like it. I had fun with Kingdom Hearts 3. I bought Monster Hunter World when it went on sale, I believe, this summer, but I haven't played it yet. I hear people love it though, so I'm excited to see that. And The Outer Worlds, I played a good bit of. And if I were to vote on which RPG would be the best RPG, it would probably be The Outer Worlds. But a lot of people, I would say, would probably be disappointed that Fire Emblem Three Houses is not in this category. It is in one category, but it isn't in Best RPG, which is really disappointing because it is an RPG. It's a strategy RPG, but it is an RPG. So for Best Fighting Game, we have Dead or Alive 6. Haven't played it. Jump Force, didn't play it. Mortal Kombat 11, didn't play it. Samurai Showdowns, didn't play it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, love it. I'm not a big fighting game person. I am god-awful at them. I don't really have fun with them, but I do love Super Smash Bros. So I think that Super Smash Bros. Will probably take this one because I think it's officially now the biggest crossover in all of gaming ever, in the history of gaming. So it broke records. it's, it's just a fantastic game. I think everybody loves Smash. So best family game, we have Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Mario Brothers 2, or I'm sorry, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World. So Nintendo can't lose this category. I would say probably family game would either be Super Mario Maker 2, because that's a game that I could see you playing with a family. Luigi's Mansion 3 is like, it's basically a one-player game. It's a single-player game or a two-player game. You can play it as a two-player. But for a family, I would say that either Super Mario Maker or Smash would be a better family game to play as a family. So, best strategy game, we have Age of Wonders, Planetfall, never heard of it. Anno 1800, never heard of it. Fire Emblem Three Houses, finally. Total War, Three Kingdoms, never heard of it. Tropico 6, and Wargroove. So, I think just about anybody would say, yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses needs to win this category. I think people that are Fire Emblem fans would pretty much say definitely that whatever Fire Emblem is nominated for, it should win. It's just one of those games that was just fantastic through and through, and everybody that played it loved it. So I haven't played it yet, but I've never really been into the strategy RPG genre too much, but my friend loves Fire Emblem, so I'd probably end up giving it a shot. So now we have best sports / racing game. I still don't understand why these two these two genres are put together into one category. That's interesting to me. We have Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0, E-Evolution Football Soccer 2020, F1 2019. I don't know what that is. FIFA 20. So I don't play sports games. I don't really know which one is the best one. I would say that FIFA 20 is probably not the best one, because EA typically just at this point, their sports games are just a little bit more than a roster update at this point, so I don't really know. Best multiplayer game, Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and Tom Clancy's The Division. Now, Tetris 99 was a very interesting nomination for this one here, because it really came out of nowhere. Like, I understand that people like Tetris 99, but is it really one of the best multiplayer games? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty will probably take this one. It just will. It probably will. So, fresh indie game. So that's indie games that are brand new this year. Or I'm sorry, not brand new this year. It is the studio's first game. So this is ZA/UM. No idea what that is. Nomada Studioff. Okay. Dead Toast. I'm sorry. I'm reading this backwards. Disco Elysium is the game. Grease, My Friend Pedro, Outer Wilds, Slay the Spire, and Untitled Goose Game. So they're nominating the studio that created these games. So we have whatever this is, Nomada Studioff, Dead Toast Entertainment, Mobius Digital, Megacrit, and House. So I'm not really sure which one would win this one. I know a lot of people liked Grease and My Friend Pedro. I know, like, basically all these games, were pretty popular with all the people that liked indie games this year, especially Untitled Goose Game. That was at the top of the Nintendo Switch eShop charts for a long time there, so I wouldn't be surprised if Untitled Goose Game won, but we never know. So then we have Content Creator of the Year. We have Courage, Dr. Lupo, Ewok, Grefk, and Shroud. So my girlfriend likes Courage and Dr. Lupo, so I guess give it to one of them. Every time that she turns them on when I'm there, I have a good time watching. I like Courage, so I would say of all these people that I've seen, I would vote for Courage. I really don't want to spend any, like, this video has been far longer than I intended it to be. So I don't really think I want to go over the esports awards. I'm so sorry for people that want to see the esports stuff, but I'll leave a link down below in the description to this article, and you can check out the nominees, or if the Game Awards website is up, you can go and vote for yourself. But let's go ahead and go on to the game of the year. So for game of the year, we have Control, Death Stranding, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, a remake, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds, which is very, very interesting. So this here is why a lot of people don't take the Game Awards super seriously, because realistically, should Control be in the nomination for Game of the Year? Probably not, dude. Honestly, no. I don't like it. It rated fine on Metacritic from what I understand, but I think games like Fire Emblem Three Houses even rated higher than that. Just RPGs never, ever, ever win Game of the Year. That's why it was a huge deal for Persona 5 to be nominated in 2016, I think. I don't know. Now, Death Stranding, again, it's the same thing. That even Fire Emblem got a higher grade on Metacritic than Death Stranding. So you'd think that people would take a look at Metacritic and be like, okay, so these are the games that got rated the highest. Maybe there's a game that just like fell through the radar. Maybe we can pick that one up, and maybe it actually deserves Game of the Year. But I don't know. Now, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I could totally see why that would be in there, because it's a huge crossover in gaming. It's a very, very big deal. It's just one of those games that everybody that plays it loves it. So Resident Evil 2 is also a very interesting addition to this category because it's a remake, and a lot of people think that remakes shouldn't be part of what the Game of the Year nomination, because the game came out. When did this game come out? 1997, 98? I don't know. But they remade it and they gave it like this thick coat of paint that made it a very, very modern game. And a lot of people think that it just shouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year, and they won't take the Game Awards seriously because of that reason. Now, I don't really know if I fall into that boat, because as far as I'm concerned, they took the basic premise of what Resident Evil 2 was, and then they made it into a modernized game. They made a new game out of the premise of Resident Evil 2. It's not just a one-for-one remake with a different camera angle. It's essentially a new game. So I'm not too disappointed about that being in the running for Game of the Year. Now, if something like Link's Awakening was in the running for Game of the Year, I'd be like, okay, guys, really? Because that really is very much a one-for-one remake with just a couple additions and a thick coat of paint on it. But again, it's very, very much more of a one-for-one remake. Now, we move on to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, again, I didn't play Sekiro, but everybody that played it did love it. And From Software games, they deserve the love that they get, because it takes a lot of love to conquer those kind of games. So I wouldn't be incredibly disappointed if Sekiro won. And The Outer Worlds is very interesting because it's a brand new IP from Obsidian, and I just don't know about it. Like, the game has a couple flaws, as in on console the load times are pretty bad. I've had a couple glaring glitches, I shot someone in their weak point and they just shot up in the air. So, big glitches. I don't know if the story is like super riveting, but it is nominated for it is nominated for Best Narrative, so maybe I'm wrong about that. Like, I'm sure it's interesting, but the best, I don't know. And the gameplay, I think the gameplay is super refined. It feels like a Fallout game in space, and that's essentially what it is, and that's fine. I think that's good, but I don't know if it deserves to be game of the year. So if I'm going to knock out a couple of games off of this list, I would knock out Control, Death Stranding, Sekiro, and The Outer Worlds, and I would put it up between Smash and Resident Evil 2. And if you fall into the camp where Resident Evil 2 shouldn't be in the game of the year running, then Smash should win. But I don't know. I would be happy with either one of these games winning. I would even be happy with these last 4 games winning, because I know that Death Stranding is going to win at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these awards, and Control is nominated right alongside Death Stranding and just about everything that it's nominated in. So maybe Control will win a couple too, but there's a lot of bias going on from what I understand, from what I'm seeing about Death Stranding. So I really don't necessarily want it to win Game of the Year, because I think Game of the Year should be, as a whole, the package of the game itself should be the best of the best in every category. And Death Stranding has been labeled as just a not fun game. So if the game isn't fun, why is it the best one of the year when you have all of these games that are incredibly fun? This game is riveting as hell. This game is this game is purely made for fun. And Sekiro, you can have fun with Sekiro. You can be frustrated and have fun at the same time. And The Outer Worlds is a whole lot of fun because you get to shoot a bunch of stuff. You get to shoot a bunch of aliens with space guns. It's fun. I don't know. So I would say that I'd be happy with any of these 4 winning. The Outer Worlds is just a weird introduction, or not introduction, but inclusion into this category. But these 3 I understand. So I would be happy with any one of these, because yes, even The Outer Worlds, because I have played it and it is a great game. So I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. I'm sorry this video was so long, but I wanted to get as much information as I could without going into too much of the or any of the esports stuff, because esports hasn't really caught my attention, unfortunately, I guess. But let me know what you guys think down below. What's your game of the year? Let me know if your game of the year is even nominated. Let me know if it's a game that wasn't nominated at all. Maybe Fire Emblem Three Houses is your game of the year, and I totally understand that. But thank you guys for watching, and leave the video a like if you liked it and dislike it if you didn't, and I'll see you on the next one.